Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My name is Govinda. So introduce me already. Are you going to be around, Prabhu? Yeah? Don't call me. And I live in Vrindavan for the past 25 years. And my service is chanting Hare Krishna. And so we all know this song, Radha Madhava. We were singing. Srila Prabhupada made it into tradition to sing it before every class. And he said, in this song, Radha Madhava, everything is there. Vrindavan is there. Srimati Radharani is there. Krishna is there. Madhava is there. Radha Madhava. Gopi Jana Vallabha. He's the lover of the gopis. Krishna. Yashoda Nandan, the darling of Mother Yashoda. And then Jamuna is there, Giri Govardhan, everything is there that we aspire for. As Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we followers of Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, Gadadhar, Shivas and Advaita, Panchatattva, and all their contemporaries and all their whole of Vrindavan descending in Gaura Lila. We all know, I couldn't take my eyes off when I was singing Gaurarti of Gaura Nitai because they're so beautiful and they're so merciful. And our kirtan should be, of course, the etiquette, Vaishnava etiquette. First, we offer or pronounce to our spiritual masters. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prastaya Bhutale, Srimate, Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityananda. Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, and whether you're initiated by any of his disciples, still he's the the reference point regarding philosophy. And the spiritual master is very merciful. He wants to save you from suffering, the ocean of suffering. But we all know that the father has a love for his son and daughter. But the grandfather is especially affectionate to the grandson and granddaughter. So, we all grandsons and granddaughters. Time is ticking away. And then next generation will be the grandsons and grand disciples and so on and so on. But Srila Prabhupada will always be there as the reference point. Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. And for us, Guru is Srila Prabhupada. He laid down the philosophy coming from the Acharyas, all the different purports he gave to Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita. He compiled all the tikas or the commentaries by the different Acharyas, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Jiva Goswami, Baladev Vidyabhusan, etc., who commented on these verses and then put it into, all their commentaries into one purport and put it into such a simple English language that we Westerners, we can understand it. In Kali Yuga, we are not qualified to study the Vedas. We don't have the intelligence or purity of behavior, living and acting and thinking. All these factors, they all want us to be in a mode of goodness, sattva-guna, in order to be able to study the Vedic literature. In fact, when Lord Chaitanya, when asked by the Mayavadi sannyasis, why don't you study the Vedic literature? You're a sannyasi here and you're just chanting and singing and, displaying this sentiment, like a religious sentimentalist. You're a sannyasi. The duty of a sannyasi is to study the Vedas, philosophy. Don't be this sentimentalist, low-class person, unintelligent. And then Mahaprabhu's answer was, he said, my spiritual master told me that I'm not qualified to study the Vedic literatures because I'm unqualified, unintelligent. So for me, I just chant Hare Krishna. You just chant Hare Krishna. But when I chant this Maha Mantra, I feel all kind of ecstatic symptoms. And these ecstatic symptoms, they're the symptoms of love of God. Krishna Prema actually is the purpose of studying the Vedic literatures. So in Kali Yuga, for us, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu indirectly is telling you and me and all of us, Kali Yuga products, that don't waste your time on philosophical debates and dry philosophy. Of course, we need philosophy. I'm talking philosophy here, but only to the point that we understand that the goal of life is to chant Hare Krishna with the proper understanding, not without philosophy. That's not what I'm saying. Philosophy is very important. Srila Prabhupada said, philosophy without religion is sentimentalism. And religion without philosophy will turn into
Fanatism.
mental speculation.
That's philosophy. It's other way, yeah, the other way.
Did I mix it up?
Religion without philosophy is fanaticism.
Religion without philosophy is sentimentalism.
Yeah.
And philosophy and
philosophy without religion is mental speculation.
Yeah, all those. So if you don't understand the philosophy, we're just chanting Hare Krishna, everybody. It's a nice musical presentation, so this is some nice sentimental melodies, emotions are coming up. But we don't understand the philosophy. What's the purpose behind it? What is our consciousness supposed to be? Then we're going to drift off to the wrong path and become impersonalists. You will not understand Krishna is God, He's a person, you're a person, and He's a person. And by chanting this Maha Mantra, this relationship will be awakened. It's already there in you. Love for Krishna is already in the heart. But now we have this gross body, we have the subtle body, the mind, intelligence, and the ego. Ego is the misconceptions that we are this body. We identify with this material body in a gross or subtle level. And due to that, this original hankar, original ego, is buried down. There's many layers of ignorance. We are thinking I'm American, I'm Chinese, I'm Russian, I'm Ukrainian, I'm black and white and fat and thin and ugly and beautiful, and all these different bodily designations are there. And we are thinking in terms of these things, and because we identify with the body, we identify with the idea that to make life happy is to make the body beautiful, make the body comfortable, in a big house and in a beautiful, clean environment, and it's financial security, and get a beautiful wife or husband, have beautiful children, money in the bank balance, the car you like, and all these material things. Have success, get fame, reputation, etc., etc. So these things, we don't say that you should just give up everything and run to the forest. That was Arjuna's idea in the Bhagavad Gita. And in the second chapter, Krishna called him a fool. That you want to renounce everything and run to the forests because you think it is immoral to fight against your teachers, your relatives. Bhishma Dev was there, Dronacharya, etc., etc. And Krishna says no. At the end it says Saradharan Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Braja. Mam Ekam, surrender unto me alone. Give up all these conceptions, give up all these ignorance, bodily designations and all the ideas, mental speculation arising from this misidentification. Be Krishna conscious and surrender unto me, and Ma Suchahas, I will deliver you from all ignorance. Not only ignorance, all fear, all dangers in your life. And so mental speculation and sentimentalism. So we need some philosophy to understand why we have to chant Hare Krishna. What is the purpose of chanting? And Srila Prabhupada said that we Vaishnavas, we devotees, our only purpose is to sit in the holy Dham of Sri Vrindavan Dham and Sri Mayapur Dham, sit in the Dham and chant Hare Krishna. That should be the goal of life. That is the best thing you can achieve in this life. But he says, because you cannot do it, I have given you so many engagements. But ultimately, that is the goal. We have to come to the platform of chanting and chanting and chanting and chanting. And these things, deity worship, necessary. Why is it necessary? It will help us in our chanting. You study philosophy, it will make us convinced. Our intelligence will be convinced, yes. Chant more. We come together and we discuss this thing, we are trying to convince you. You try to convince yourself to what extent that you chant more Hare Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada he asked his disciples, what is the goal of this chanting? What is the result of this chanting? And the disciples are saying so many things. Oh Prabhupada, we will realize we're not this material body. And etc. etc. And then Prabhupada said, the result of chanting is more chanting. So that's what we want, more chanting, more chanting. But we cannot do this more chanting and more chanting because we don't know what this chanting is. So the 16 syllable words, Hare Krishna, 16 words, 32 syllables, 64 letters, Hare Krishna mantra. And actually, if you're a musician, you understand music is all about math. A lot about, the technical part of it is about math. Music is about expressing emotions. Okay? And whether it's sad or funny or interesting or whatever, there's many, many different human emotions are there. And the origin of these emotions are in relation to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and originate from the spiritual world. And these different raga systems, like we're singing this rag now, Darbari. In the Indian Sangeet Shastra raga system, there are some main ragas, and they have all wives or the raginis, and they have unlimited children. So there's unlimited melodies. They all originate from Goloka Vrindavan. And in the material world, when we chant these different melodies called ragas, there's a whole system of rules. And Darbari is supposed to be sang after midnight. It's a little sad, you know. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Then it is a melody in the mood of separation. Okay, so you can think of being separated from Krishna. This is a very sad affair. Okay, and so anyway, so back to the point. It is sang after midnight, and each rag can be sang between one prahar. And one prahar is 3 gantas, right? 1 ganta is 48 minutes. So 2.5 hours, approximately. And so there are 8 prahars, or 3 hours, and 3 times 8, 24 hours. And around the clock, there are different melodies, every 3-hour section, more or less, because, you know, the movement of the sun, the seasons come and the sun is rising earlier, sun is rising later during the time of the year. So therefore also the prahars are moving a little bit. And approximately 3 hours. And so Darbari is supposed to be sang after midnight. And it is said that each melody has a demigod. And each melody and this demigod has a planet. In the material world, the heavenly planets. And when you sing this melody, it has to be in that particular time only. Okay? That's just a basic rule. There's many other rules. And if you do not do that, you sing it on a different time, like you just did now, then you commit an offense, and the demigod will not be happy. Okay? So now, why are we singing this melody now, or any other melody? You know, not according to time, place, and the circumstance. And that's because we are Vaishnavas and we are chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And Krishna is the controller of the demigods. Okay, he's the boss. He's the master of the demigods. And when we chant Krishna's names, uh, it is for his pleasure. It's not for the demigod's pleasure, particular raga or melody. It's for Krishna's pleasure. And therefore the jurisdiction of that demigod doesn't reach there. It's way above him. Okay? So there is no hard and fast rules in chanting Hare Krishna. Mahaprabhu said, I don't know how to study the Vedas. My spiritual master told me, you simply chant Hare Krishna, that's all. You don't have to do anything. So everything was made very simple for us. We chant Hare Krishna, and all perfection that you can derive from studying the Vedas will be there. In fact, much more. Because by chanting Hare Krishna under the instruction of our Param Guru, Srila Prabhupada, and Gora and Nitai, the Kali Yuga avatars, who come very rarely. They only come once in every day of Brahma and once every night of Brahma. So now I cannot remember the number, but it's some trillion years, right, each day of Brahma. And so Mahaprabhu comes very, very rarely, and we just came 500 years ago, so practically just now. We are very fortunate, and you can think or imagine how fallen we are if we are taking birth at that time, because we need the extra special mercy, a big dose. You know, sometimes you take a pill or some liquid, but sometimes the disease is so severe that you have to give you an injection. Okay, in your blood circulation, so it affects you immediately. So we are in that stage now of disease, and we are so materially conditioned that we need the big dose, the super dose, with the immediate effect. And therefore Mahaprabhu came, and he didn't just give us the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. He gave us the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra with special instructions, and he can derive the highest benefit. You can go back to Goloka Vrindavan, and we can dance with Radha and Krishna there, which in other yugas the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is there, but this knowledge, this special boon, is not so widely, like an open secret, available. It's not always available. So we are very fortunate. We have this opportunity, and we should take advantage of it. So Prabhupada said we have first-class philosophy, we have first-class chanting, music, we have first-class temples, we have first-class deities, first-class prasadam. This is only a first-class rascal will not take to it. So it is all there. Prabhupada said, any sincere person who reads my books, he will have no choice but to surrender to Krishna. Given if you're sincere. If you're not sincere, then you will find so many excuses. But if you read on, the excuses will be defeated, because we have actually a flawless philosophy. But if you're very insincere, like one of our scholars, he was debating one atheist from Harvard, I don't know where, and so the atheist was defeated, soundly defeated, and he acknowledged and accepted defeat by our Vaishnava scholar, devotee scholar. But then he said that, but I will still not surrender to Krishna. It is just envy. You see, it's envy is in the heart, and no matter how much, what you do, you can't force, twist people's arms and make them to surrender. If they don't want to give up their false ego and their false identity, then they will have to be here. And we try our best, and then we move on. We give attention to those who are actually ready and sincere, instead of wasting our time with somebody who will never surrender to Krishna. They're living entities in the mature world who go on life after life after life, and they're not willing to surrender to God or Krishna. It's all based on your free will, your mind of independence. All right, so give him a little speech because I think we have to end at 8 o'clock or something. Is it correct? Yeah? So let's do a little bit of kirtan, huh? That's what we're talking about anyway. So, where is our Mridanga player? Yes.
We can go beyond 8.
If you want, you can go with this. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you know which demigod is associated with Yaman?
Yaman.
I'm a sitar player, and I
Oh.
just recorded a song, Yaman, but I didn't know it was associated with some.
Yaman, Kalyan. Okay, so
Just Yaman, not Yaman.
what time is it? Actually, I don't know. See, I don't bother studying the whole raga system in terms of who's the demigod.
Is just the one that every player starts with when you learn it. Can't exactly. It's basically like. Yeah, it's like the sa and the re, I think, are like half steps or something like that.
Yes.
Anyway, so the point is, my answer to your question, I don't bother to find out all these details because, like I said, Krishna is the master of the demigods.
Yeah, that's so he's a master of the rock.
When you know the source of everything, and there's how many? 36 million demigods?
330 million. 330 million.
330 million? And I think it's much more than that.
33 crores.
33 crores. 1 crore is 10 million, so 330 million demigods, and there's beyond more than that. There's just a number given. There's unlimited melodies, unlimited demigods, each controlling a particular department in the material universe. But just like we have the president of the United States, and then there's many different senators, and then ministers. I don't know what's the system here, and different sections of society has to be taken care of. So all these powers and responsibilities are distributed in many ways. And this is just one Earth planet, so it's very limited. But in the material universe, there are many different planets with much more complex systems, and a lot of responsible duties need to be fulfilled, and so many demigods in there. But like I said, I don't know. I cannot answer.
I guess
Technically, I cannot answer what is a demigod. I don't even care so much, because.
Just as a sitar player, I found
Yeah.
the mention
Nice.
of rock is interesting.
Whole idea is, instead of studying so much in the material world, we want to get out of here, and study our real origin, get into that mood. You play sitar, surbahar also.
Oh, I don't play Surbahar yet, but I'm going to get Veena. So I'm going
Veena.
to master both the Hindustani and Carnatic style. But right now I only play sitar,
Nice.
as far as making instruments are concerned.
So difficult on the nails, yeah?
Yeah, it's not too bad if you already play guitar.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I already play guitar and bass.
But these Vedic instruments compared to the Western, let's say, electric guitar and so on, they are in the mode of goodness, Satyagun. Where in the Western, especially nowadays, Western music, modern music, it's in the mode of passion and ignorance. I don't want to give examples. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Basically, that's what it is. Various degrees. And so it doesn't lead anywhere, any nice place. But Vedic music is a mode of goodness, but it doesn't mean it's spiritual. It just means don't add the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we don't add the names of God in our music, it doesn't matter. It's a mode of ignorance, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, it will be material. You know? But as soon as we add it, it will be spiritual. That's the difference. All right. Anybody else with any question?
How do you get taste chanting?
How do you get taste for chanting?
By chanting.
My spiritual master, my Sri Krishna Guru Hare Prabhu said, because so many people ask this question. How do you get taste for chanting if you don't chant Hare Krishna? How do you expect to get taste if you don't chant? So the answer is chant Hare Krishna, and the taste is already in the chanting. The taste is already there, and Hare Prabhu said that Narottam Das Thakur said that don't think that this chanting and dancing will not take you back home, back to Godhead. And you will be chanting and dancing with Radha and Krishna and their associates. So he says, yes, this chanting will take you back home, back to Godhead. Hare Prabhu, and I want to add my 2 cents worth. If you do it. But if you don't do it, I'm not going to do it for you. I can't. I mean, I try, but I can hardly take myself anywhere. So, but one thing is, taste will come when we come together. When we are alone, we chant japa, right? And you have to be a little bit strong to be able to chant japa. So, how do we chant japa alone? Because you can chant japa longer than kirtan. Is by coming together and having mass, Harinam Sankirtan. The more devotees together, the better. It is a chance for advancement. When you're alone, you just one stick. It can be broken easily. When you're a bundle, not easy. Then you feel some strength. And you get that strength, you take it with you when you chant japa, and the merit of that strength, when you get the juice, And then your thirst is quenched. You're not, glancing over the material energy to fulfill that thirst. You already got the juice from chanting and kirtan. So when you're alone, you'll be able to carry on. And, proportionately as you increase, the taste will increase. You have to do it. Right? And sometimes chanting is not available. You live in a small town like this. Still, I see that everybody's very enthusiastic to sing and chant. Some other temples are not so enthusiastic, but I think we have Natabar, he wants to dance. He brought all these enthusiastic devotees here. And I see Gauditai, they're very merciful. So this is your opportunity. Come together, and you don't have to be musically expert. Forget about the rock system. Just chant Hare Krishna any way you can. The main point is you do it. And of course, if you have some musical talent, then you can learn and become expert, then it will be even better. But the technicality of music is not the point here. It is the mode of surrender, the mode of sincerity that is the main factor in the chanting, not the musical expertise. Sometimes people are musically expert, they forget they have to be sincere too. They have to be surrender, but they just riding on the waves of the musical talent and forgetting the essence of why this is. And because expert musicians, they enjoy playing music. And it's very rare, not rare, but yes, rare. But it's a rare opportunity to have someone who's musically expert and has a sincere mood. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Madhurya Kadambini explains Ruchi. You understand, everybody? Ruchi, the platform Ruchi. So this our faith or Shraddha starts from sadhu sangha. When we start associating with devotees, we hear the philosophy, we hear the chanting, we taste the prasadam, or not even that. Before we have even this developed taste, we have just a remote taste. Bhaktivinoda Thakur translates regard. Let's say you heard about the Hare Krishnas once somewhere, and you thought, oh, okay, that's all right, that's okay. It's not a liking, but you accept them in one level. When you see them on the street, oh, okay, these guys are cool. All right, like that. But you have no interest joining them, hear from them, nothing. Just acknowledge. So we have some regard. Okay. So then they become closer to the devotees later, and then you have sadhu sangha, and from sadhu sangha comes bhajana kriya. From bhajana kriya, bhajana means we start performing, following sadhana bhakti, practicing the rules of devotional life, getting up early in the morning, worshipping a deity form, chanting on japa, read philosophy, come together, etc., etc. This is bhajan kriya, performing bhajan or devotional service. And from bhajana kriya comes anartha nivriti, painful. You have to pull out all the weeds from our heart, all the unwanted things that will interfere our smooth progress. And then we are faced out with the reality. It's a reality check that we are very conditioned, we're very fallen, we have so many, dirty habits, filthy habits still in our heart. We want to give them up, but they just anchor down. It's impossible to move an inch, away from them. You're so attached to them, so conditioned. But slowly by the practice of bhajana kriya, they will be uprooted. All the weeds will be uprooted. And from anartha nivriti comes nishta. Okay? Then you're steady. These things will not stop you, these weeds in the heart. Because before nishta or steady is anishtata bhajan. Anishtata bhajan means unsteady service. And from steady, next stage is ruchi, taste. Okay? And now, come to the point, there are two kinds of tastes according to Vishwanath Chakravarti. One is when you hear an ISKCON, the sitar is played so nicely, and the veena, and the sarod, and the violin, and so many things, and the percussion, the mridanga, or dolak, and what is it? Not tabla, pakwaj. Tabla is not a Hindu instrument, not an Indian instrument, actually, by the way.
Oh, is it a Persian?
The pakwaj was cut by the Muslims, they like to cut things. It was cut in half, and became a tabla. Anyway, so it's perfectly accompanied by all the rhythmic instruments like the mridangam, etc., hand cymbals, the kartals, and the tambura, etc. And the singing is very beautiful, so nice alap, and nice alankars, and beautiful sweet voice, and the mood is very nice, and everything is very nice. So then these devotees think, oh, this is beautiful devotional service. But then you come to the Columbus temple, and only a couple guys know some basic beat on the mridanga, and then I have a sweet voice or whatever, and it thinks, oh, it's not so nice, But but a devotee who has genuine ruchi, of genuine taste, he'll come to the Columbus temple. I said, yeah, maybe he doesn't know how to sing properly, at least Govinda Das or whoever it is. But he's sincere, he's trying, Then he will appreciate that. So that's the genuine taste. So there's two kinds of tastes. Okay, so one is inferior, one is superior. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad goes on that when we hear, when this the person who has a higher taste of ruchi, when he hears a kirtan performance or Bhagavat Shravanam lecture, artistically and intelligently and perfectly embellished with all kind of alankar, embellishments, decorations, and support, performed, then he's thrilled. Ruchi is already there, but now all these supportive things are there, then even more beautiful. But it will not be crazy if he sees all these technical things are not there. So that's right, come to the point. These technicalities of being an expert musician are not so important. Remember, Indra Prabhu, he was a very, very expert musician, but he didn't play mridanga, so he never learned, okay? And so, and there was one Bengali mridanga teacher in Vrindavan, and he put out his booklet. And in the booklet said, if you don't play the proper mantras on the mridangam, you will go to hell. And Hare Prabhu was like, he says, when we've been under the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, we were performing Harinam Sankirtan in New York City, and I would just play the mridanga, ding, ding, going, ding, ding, going, ding, because I didn't know how to play mridanga. But we were chanting and saving the fallen souls in New York City. You mean to say I'm going to hell for that? You see, so sometimes people are too much attached to the music, and they become proud. And it is better to be humble and Trinadapi Sulichena. And then you can Kirtaniya Sadahari, always chant. Okay, I'm talking too much. Yes, let's do some kirtan. So we have a mridanga player here. It would be nice.
What happened to Gurudal Prabhu? Tara is not there.
He said it comes. Call Guru.
Hare Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Conclude our program here. Will you serve prasadam?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Sorry, I'm new here.
Very nice.
Thank
I
you.
wish this could walk for long.
Thank you for bearing with me.
Thank you for bearing us with you. Manga playing.
Please come back on Sunday.
We could see like kind of Prabhu's. Yeah, he sings.
Yeah.
Where is Radha Hari?
Hey, Prabhu, I think busy. He will come.
Busy.
Yeah, he will come on Sunday.
Sunday will be there.
Sunday we do work it, okay?
Sunday.
No.
Please
Expert
come.
में नंगे play, then I can go on
Yeah.
slow and fast.
Yeah, Sunday 11 o'clock. Please make sure everybody is there.
So thank you everybody for coming. We'll have more of Prabhu.